guys, for this video I am going to talk about something that I have been binge watching. Like most people, I've taken to watching stuff online, and I found that YouTube has a lot of compilations mainly, but there is a couple of episodes of Ink Masters, and I've been watching it kind of out of morbid curiosity, having been a tattooist in my day. Now retired, as it were. I don't do it anymore. But yeah, I've started watching it, and I'm a little bit peeved with it. I don't like it. The whole concept just doesn't make any sense to me, because they are putting all of these tattooists. Sorry, I'm thirsty today. I had bloods taken, so I probably said that in the video before this one, hopefully, if I've uploaded them in the right order. So I'm trying to keep my sugar levels up, because I obviously lost some blood today. Yeah, they put tattooists against each other for different things, obviously to figure out who is the best and who is the ink master. But some of the things that they get them to do just doesn't really make any sense to me, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like, they're competing against each other. They're conspiring against each other to catch each other out and get them out of the competition. And they cause rifts. I know it's supposed to be reality TV in a way, I guess, but it's why can't their tattooing just speak for itself? Why do you have to compromise someone else by catching them out, by giving them a bad canvas, as they call? They don't. That's another thing. They don't call people, or customers, or clients. They don't call them that. They just call them canvases, which kind of dehumanizes them quite a bit. It's that's still a human being. And yeah, they put them up against each other, and it's why can't their tattooing just speak for itself, rather than giving them a bad canvas, or a hard tattoo to do in a really dodgy place, or someone who's got a skin issue, or I've seen so many different things that they seem to use against each other, and it just doesn't make any sense to me, because if you're a good tattooist, you'll figure that out regardless. It just doesn't make any sense. And also, the way they speak about the canvases, people, in the show is disgusting. Some of them are literally sat there, mainly the boys, I will say that. It is mainly the boys that are on that show, so I don't know if it's an arrogance thing or whether they tell them to talk like that. But they're sitting there and they're like, oh, this asshole wants me to tattoo this on him. And it's that is a person that you've just tattooed. That is a human being. And other people who potentially visit your shop, your studio, is going to watch this show. I personally would not want to get tattooed by someone who just referred to a customer, a client, whatever you want to call them, as an arsehole, because they were adamant about what they wanted, and it wasn't to do with that week's trial, whatever you want to call it. They give them different trials, as it were, where they have to do a specific thing. Not always, but most of the time, where it's today you'll be tattooing on the butt, or because it's difficult, or today you'll be tattooing this genre of tattoo, and they have to stick to that. And if the canvas doesn't like it, or the person doesn't like it, then, they argue with them, and they're like, oh, you're going to get me thrown out of this competition. It's there's still a person that has to wear that for the rest of their life. They should have a say in what they're getting. I think, obviously, most of them, they put out, an email or something, or, a criteria to the world, where they're like, oh, if you want this specific style of tattoo, whether it's... Because the other week they did Renaissance paintings. So I guess they put out the feelers to see who wants it, and then 9 times out of 10, I think they just want to be on TV. They're like, yeah, I want that, and then they come in and they get it. But it seems like some of them, they're not doing that, and they're just sitting there, and then they're told what they're getting, and I don't understand that. That's not what a tattooist does. You don't tattoo what you want to do. It'd be great if you could. If you could, I would still be doing it. But you can't. I got bored of it because everyone just kept asking for the same thing in my hometown, and I really got bored of it. Everyone just wanted black tribal. and I find that so insanely boring. When people ask me why, I always say the same thing. It's literally like colouring in an A4 piece of paper with a barrel pen. It's just boring. Whereas if you got like a full colour piece, you know, it's a lot more interesting and it's just more artistic. But people want what they want. You can suggest that to them, but you can't tell them like, no, you're getting this. And the way they speak to each other is insane. And I don't understand it as a show. I don't understand it. It's like, I watched one the other day. I don't remember names. Sorry, I'm really forgetful with names. But it was this woman, and she wasn't the sharpest tool in the box. I'll say that. Um, trying to be polite. And she wasn't very good, and she was still an apprentice, but she was going up against these guys that have been doing it for years. And it's like, why don't they separate them to where they're like, you know, apprentices going against other apprentices for, you know, a spot or whatever, and then the guys that have been doing it for a long time. I get that sometimes guys that have been doing it for a long time, it doesn't mean they're any good. Some of them are still chicken scratchers, unfortunately, but because they've been doing it a long time, they think they know everything. I get that, but like, putting apprentices against, you know, professionals, I don't really get it. And she was obviously an apprentice. She hadn't been doing it for like, I don't know, she'd been tattooing, what, like 2 years, I think she said, or 3 years at the most? I don't even think it was that. And she was going up against someone else who'd been doing it for a really long time and it was obviously more capable. And the whole time through the show, she says, like, oh, because they're working in teams, she was like, oh, you know, sorry, you've all got to carry me. It's like, why are you there? I don't understand why she's there when the others are having to carry her through. Her work doesn't hold up against the other people's work, so why is she even there? I just feel like it's just a weird setup, but it makes me angry because the amount of people that are, you know, the way they speak to each other and the way they speak to their clients, campuses, whatever you want to call them, it just doesn't happen. Like, if you want to run a good shop and you're not arrogant, because some of the guys that are arrogant on there that are like, oh, if you don't like it, you know, sod off, basically. It's like, well, your work's not that good. So if you talk to people like that, they're not going to keep coming back. I don't really understand it. Like, you should have a professional way of like talking to people because it's still your business. It's still money. They're spending money with you, but above all, they're going to be walking away with something on their body for the rest of their lives. So maybe don't speak to them like they're trash. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm wondering if it's just me or whether other people feel that way that have seen this show that aren't tattooists, maybe, or even people that are tattooists. What do you guys think of it? I just think it's a really weird concept. It's like, it's just saying that it's acceptable to speak about people like that or treat people like that. It's like, this is what I need to do to win this competition, so I'm going to do it. And because that person is like, no, I don't want that though, they're like, well, you're going to ruin this for me. And, you know, they start effing and blinding at them. And it's like, you can't do that to people. Like, they have every right to be upset if you're not going to do what they've asked to do or what they're there for. You know, they've obviously accepted that, in theory, they've obviously accepted to be there with a specific thing in mind that they want to get done. I think maybe for certain parts they just get people to go in and they're just like, yeah, do whatever you want. But for those ones, you can obviously tell that they're there for a specific purpose. They've told them what they want, and then that person is like, no, I'm not doing that. I want to do this because I think I'll win with it. It's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It just makes the whole thing a complete joke, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing the point. But that's why I wanted to make this video. You know, if you guys get it, then let me know. What do you guys think of it? I just think it's such a strange concept. I don't understand it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Just let me know. If you guys watch it and enjoy it, tell me why. Because I'm still trying to figure out Like, I've mostly watched it out of morbid curiosity. I'm not actually enjoying it. A lot of the work that I'm seeing, I'm like, that's not good. I don't understand it. Maybe tattooists are different over there? But they can't be, because I've seen some really amazing artists from America. So I don't really understand. And especially in LA, there's quite a few really good ones that do real portraits. And one of the guys on that show kept saying, like, oh, this is my thing, I'm a portrait artist. And then it showed you it, and I was like, are you? Though? He was like an ex-Marine or something. He's a scary looking dude. He's really arrogant, and he's like, oh, this is my thing, this is my golden ticket. And they actually just, like, didn't put him in the bottom two, and he did a portrait of a baby. That's someone's child that they have on their body for the rest of their life, and he screwed it up so bad. It didn't look anything like the child, and they didn't put him in the bottom two. And his attitude was, you know, well, I got all the shading right, and, you know, I can't remember what else he said. I was like, yeah, but the face is wrong, dude, and that's someone's child. You don't get that wrong. That's the one thing you don't want to get wrong. And a couple of others as well with the portraits, it's the same idea. They're like, yeah, but I nailed this part of it. It's like, but the face, that's what makes it who it is. I didn't understand. That's why I am so terrified to get a family member tattooed on me that I love and adore. Like I said, this one's loosely based on my nan. It doesn't look like her. Like, it's an old school caricature, like pin-up style, you know, that we just came up with. It just reminds me of her. And, like, obviously these are like Frankenstein and Bride, so they're not loved ones, but they look amazing. They look just like the people they're supposed to. So if I was going to, I would go to my tattooist for that portrait, but, like, I still would be scared, because if it was even remotely not quite right, I would be devastated, because that's their loved one, especially if they're not with us anymore. How can you have the attitude of, yeah, but I did this right? It's like, but the face, dude. Should have got the face right. I don't understand. Because one of the guys said, oh, I chose that one because I knew I could get the uniform right, so the face doesn't matter. And I'm like, what? That's their loved one. That's their face. Of course it matters. It's a portrait. I don't understand his way of thinking. So yeah, the whole show just annoys the hell out of me. I don't get it. I really don't. But yeah, like I say, let me know what you guys think. If you haven't watched it, maybe have a look. And there's loads of compilations, like the best of this style or whatever, on YouTube. It's got Dave Navarro in it, who used to be a real heartthrob back in the day. I personally don't understand it. He's a cool guy. I just don't personally understand it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm interested. I want to know, am I just missing something? Because that's a possibility. Maybe I was just taught differently. I don't know, but I was always taught, like, you need to, you know, please the person that you're tattooing, because then they come back. Is that a strange concept? Yeah, so that's my video for today. I'm gonna probably watch a few more episodes just to see if it changes my mind, but I don't think it will. Let me know what other shows you guys recommend as well that I should watch and react to do with tattooing, maybe, because it would be interesting, seeing as that used to be my profession. It would be good to have a look and see what's out there. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.